Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Lazz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday. Hello, Walnut. It is me, Lazz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. I hope you've been having a wonderful week. I would love to hear from you and hear what you've been up to, and if you've had any recent walnuttings or you've had moments that you've noticed something new and exciting about yourself. So I encourage you to please share that with me because I want to hear from you. I've said it a couple of times, but it's still really weird because I know that I'm talking to you, but I don't actually know that you're there. So I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me inside my Facebook group. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Walnut Wednesday, all the places. So yeah, if you're enjoying yourself and you're enjoying being here and being a part of the Walnut Collective, please make yourself known. I would love to say hello and thank you in real life. But I digress. This week, Walnut, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that I've noticed about myself. The first one, of course, being that we are in the 90s for Walnut Wednesday. That means for over 90 weeks in a row, I have shown up and produced a podcast episode. And that is no little feat. That is fucking awesome. And so I'm really celebrating that this big milestone. Like, I felt like every milestone, every 10 episodes, which has been wonderful to have Kate on, is just that little reminder to just keep on doing the things and really celebrate. But something about the 90 that close to 100, I don't know, it just makes me feel really good, really happy, really celebratish, and just really delicious inside. So I guess what I want to kind of talk about this week, Walnut, is the importance of the small steps, because along the way I have definitely, most certainly what's that? I have certainly felt the I cannot be bothered, and I have an open heart center, right? So commitment and sticking things out for a long period of time, they don't normally last that long. Hence the reason why I'm so up and down with fad diets, and sometimes I do really well and sometimes I don't, because of that sort of ongoing commitment thing that I have going on. So that's also why this 90 episodes in the 90s is a really big celebration for me as well, because that means 90 whole weeks I have shown up here and you've been with me, and it's just so wonderful. So it's just important to remember to, I've always been, let me know if you resonate with this, Walnut, but I've always been really triggered by the big outrageous moves that people do. And I think we've had this discussion before, but the things like I quit my job to start my coaching business, I broke up with my boyfriend and moved to the other side of the world. While all these things, sometimes you get to a point where that needs to happen for you to have that 360 momentum and that shift and what you have always needed, it's not resonated with me. I have just noticed, especially now that I'm in like the personal development world, that I am a baby steps person, and baby steps are actually quite a big pillar to Walnut Wednesday. And the exciting thing about the baby steps is you do so many that all of a sudden you get to a point, like being at 90 episodes, where you look back and go, wow, what the fuck? How did I get here? Right? So yeah, I think that's my like non-peacock personality coming out as well, because I don't necessarily feel like I need to rah-rah about things, where like with the grand gestures. I'm a sort of a little gesture, a little bit at a time kind of person. So I guess now being in the 90s episodes, I'm just kind of looking back and just feeling really happy at the fact that I've kind of kept going, and the trials and tribulations that I've had, such as I need to do more, I should be offering this, all the other people I follow do that, always coming back to the time that I put in is enough. The time that I'm giving to Walnut Wednesday is enough. And my main bottom line was, because Walnut Wednesday started as a podcast, right? It's now become a bit of a movement and all the things. But as long as I put an episode out each week, that is all that is required. And I made that my staple part of this the side business of this movement of Walnut Wednesday. The main spine of everything was to have one walnutting a week to share with you, and I have achieved that, and I'm going to keep achieving that. And I remember very early on I got comments like, oh, it's not sustainable, you're going to run out of stuff to talk about. But there is so many walnuttings to continue talking about, to continue celebrating, to continue being vulnerable with and sharing with you. So yeah, if it's anything you get from this episode, Walnut, is that keep going, keep on baby stepping or grand gesturing if that's more aligned with you, but keep doing the things, and all of a sudden you're going to get to a point, like a 90 episode point, like a bajillion episode point, where you look back and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. And you can just smack your little butt and be proud of yourself, because that's a walnutting in itself, admitting that you're proud of yourself. How hard would it have been for Past Lazz to say, go me, Lazz, go you, Lazz, smack my own butt, you're pretty awesome for doing this and continuing on? That probably would have been one of the hardest things that I could have ever said out loud to somebody, because of the shame of backing myself, this weird stigma about how you can't say anything nice about yourself, you have to be like negative. So yeah, while I'm trying to change the world one walnutting at a time, I've completely 360'd my world just by the way I think about myself, how I carry myself, and how I speak, my voice. Like, there's so many wonderful things. So yay for the 90, and yay for the little steps, and then being able to look back at all the steps that you've made rather than a big leap, you know? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if it does or doesn't, and if we want to elaborate this further. Another thing that I noticed this week, and in celebration of, on a corporate level, on a work level, and it is kind of is to do with what we've already been talking about today, but it was that I had this situation at work, right? And so I'm an assistant at work as well. And someone was like, hi, I need your boss to put this through to approve some kind of thing, right? And I said, oh, my boss is actually on leave. She's not back for another few days. She might check her email, but otherwise I'll follow up with her when she's back. And then I got an email back saying, oh no, it's so urgent, I need it done by tomorrow. And old Lazz, scenario number one, old Lazz would have been like, oh my God, bitch, I have to bend over backwards and do what I can to jump all the hoops, not disturb my boss, but make sure that you get what you need, and go around all these hoops and spend half my day running around for somebody who just needs something by tomorrow. Scenario one. And then would have felt bad, would have had a bad day, would have come home and felt like a doormat and like a waste of space, because maybe she wouldn't even have got a thank you out of it. To scenario number two, which was me today, the present Lazz, where I just said, oh, like in my head, sort of like, oh, well, you know, what's that saying? That sounds like a you problem. It sounds really savage, but I really had that mindset like, oh, you know, it's urgent and it needs to be done today because you need it by tomorrow. Or perhaps I should have got this a week ago. Perhaps I should have, you know, I should have been put in touch with this issue some time ago so we could get it signed off and approved. So I had that mentality, and I think it's a real testament to how much how much I have stepped into my worth. I keep coming back to, at the moment, I can't believe how much I used to run on empty and burnout because I was running around after other people. And I was really shocked when that was my first thought. And my email response was something like, okay, something like that. I think my boss ended up sending me a text message. So I just said, oh, so-and-so's on my case a little bit. I don't know if you've seen that email, blah. And so it got done. So I replied saying, okay, I've just sent a text. It's been done. And she was like, thank you so much, la, la, la. But I didn't feel immediately pressured to run around like a headless chicken for other people, which is a big deal. Anyway, I think I've lost my train of thought now because I've waffled on a little bit. But moral of the story is I've baby stepped my way up to this point, up to episodes in the 90s for Walnut Wednesday. And along all those baby steps, I've picked up so many things about myself. And so I encourage you, Walnut, to maybe take a moment to have a little look back at where you are now and what exactly you have done, whether it's been the week, 6 months, the year. When I say past Lazz and present Lazz, like past you, Walnut, and present you, Walnut, like how are they different? What have you accomplished? Because I feel like we don't think about our accomplishes as much as we kind of should. And fuck, it feels good. I feel really good. I'm feeling really happy. So yeah, last night I had a bubbles at dinner, and it's just a really delicious time. So on that note, Walnut, I will end this episode here. If you resonate, please share and tag at Walnut Wednesday. If you have the iTunes, leave a review. I mean, that would be really nice. But regardless of anything you do, Walnut, just be yourself, because you're beautiful and you're sexy and you're delicious. And I would love to hear from you. So please do reach out in whatever capacity feels good for you. But be brave and be delicious, because you're a delicious, wonderful walnut. So that's me for today. Happy Walnut Wednesday, and I will talk to you next week.